What about the intellectual route? If being a sub-man won't do, nihilism is unsustainable and leads to oppressive alternatives, and the passionate man is close to the tyrannous. What about being an intellectual? Can detaching ourselves from all this nonsense and absurdity that is life and transcending it via objective thought be a legitimate life perspective given our ambiguous situation? De Beauvoir thinks those who cling to objective truth are really just serving a different kind of unconditional value. They may give the illusion of being above it all and escaping this world, but they're assuming a prejudice and operating within a defined universe. Ever seen the certainty with which public intellectuals speak? I think some of them think they are actually gods. They aren't so grand after all. So what the hell does she want us to do if intellectual activity is off the table as well? What about artists? Nope. De Beauvoir says the artists are trying to freeze a moment of time into an eternal instance and transform themselves into gods in the process. A creator of art begins to see himself as the absolute should his work become idolized. This is impermissible, for there is no transcendence from this world. So what are we supposed to do? It seems like nothing is good enough for de Beauvoir. No religion, no ideological movements, no nihilism, no adventure, no passion, no getting lost in objective thought, and no dedication to art. This is getting frustrating. We need to hear an alternative soon. We keep hearing from de Beauvoir that the only authentic option is to disclose oneself with moral freedom. But I have to admit that dictate still sounds rather vacuous in content and form. I itemized some features of ethical life last installment, but we need more, and we need to know how such a purview can be attached to any of these other life perspectives detailed. De Beauvoir is winding down her second chapter. A point she is making is that it is in our best interest to will the ethical freedom of others, for it prevents us from hardening into these universes of unconditional value and tyranny. So we are learning a little more. Freedom for all is something we will directly aim for. How exactly it keeps us from freezing into failed attempts at existence is not quite clear yet. Further, she claims that the freedom of other men will justify our own lives. How that is the case we shall have to see. How are willing others free and my own freedom connected on the existentialist doctrine? I could take some guesses, but that doesn't really serve any of us well at this juncture. Onward.